Welcome to Sports Music and Other Ish. I'm your co-host Vic.
I'm your co-host Big John, aka the Black Jerry Maguire.
Yo, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our playoff predictions for the NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs start today, so we want to go ahead and get our predictions in before they start here at 12:30, I believe. The first game's at 12:30, so we kind of want to give our predictions. With that, John, what's up? What's going on, man?
Man, nothing much, man. Just glad that we in the playoffs finally after all this time, and I'm just ready to see some good basketball, man. I got the East. I'm gonna start out with the East today. First game I'm looking at is the Bucks and Magic. Obviously, the Bucks are definitely a title contender. Got MVP candidate on the team, but anything can happen down in the bubble. And I think for the Magic to even make this competitive, they got about three guys that average in double figures, and they're low to mid double figures. Those guys are going to have to definitely have high double figures for them to compete. I mean, it's just with the MVP candidate, I just think it's too much for them. I think the Bucks are going to win that. I hope the Magic can at least win one game. I don't know if they can, but I think they might have a shot, man.
I think you're being kind of politically correct. For the Magic to win, you're gonna need all five starters and two bench players to catch COVID-19 and won't be able to play. That's the only way the Magic gonna win. Even if they lost five starters, they probably could. Their whole bench probably could come out and beat the Magic. Not the Magic is just garbage, but I just think the Bucks is just too powerful for them. And don't take that as me wanting someone to get COVID-19. I'm just saying there's gonna have to be something significant come down where five starters and two bench players are not going to be able to play for the Magic to pull this out. That's just how dominant the Bucks are.
Yeah, the other thing is too, man. The Bucks been there before. You know, they seasoned right now. They seasoned. They ready to go. Like I said, led by MVP candidate. You know, got a lot of good pieces. Got a good coach. You might be right about that COVID-19, but I'm just looking at the numbers, man. They got Fournier, he has 18.5, Ross 14.7, Aaron Gordon 14.4, Vooch is 19.6 points a game. You know what I mean? They got some distribution. I mean, like I say, anything can happen in the bubble, but on paper, the Bucks, I got the Bucks. I'm penciling it. I'm writing the Bucks in the pen, actually.
Yeah.
Our next game we got is the Pacers and Heat series, which is definitely a very intriguing series with all the back and forth between Jimmy Butler and TJ there. I think the Heat are going to pull it out. I don't see the Pacers doing it just because the Heat are stacked. They stacked, man. They got Jimmy Butler, they got Nunn, they got Bam. You know, they got a lot of good young pieces. They're young, athletic. They defend. They get up and down the floor. But, the Pacers are not any slouch. They got Victor Oladipo. They got Turner. They got a couple other guys over there that can get it going. But I just think it's just too much because they don't have a goon. They don't have a certified goon. Jimmy is a certified goon. He's gonna play both ends of the court. He gonna do all the dirty work. He gonna be in their face. He gonna get his guys going, and I think I'm picking the Heat in that series.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm taking the Heat as well. I think like when it comes to the playoffs, it comes down to coaching, and you got a championship coach with Spoelstra on the Heat, and I think he'll just draw everything up to the point where they'll have that edge. Plus, I think Jimmy Butler factor. Jimmy is a certified goon, although he did cop deuces yesterday when he was on there talking about the whole TJ Warren thing is over with. That's old. I don't know. I think that boy knows TJ Warren out there getting buckets. I don't know if he's going to be able to shut TJ Warren down like that. That boy been an animal inside of that in that bubble. But, again, I got the Pacers. I think that one could go – I think that one can go 7, man. I really think that one can go 7.
I think the reason Jimmy did that. I mean, Jimmy like playing them. He gonna play the mind games with you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna take but one little incident during the game for him to go with his neck. That's for sure.
Oh,
Huh?
I said for sure.
So the next game is the Celtics and 76ers. And man, the Sixers just don't have enough, man. They just don't. I mean, no Ben Simmons, Embiid. I'm not sold on I'm not sold on that. I don't know what he gonna give me. I don't know who gonna step up. You know, it's a tough situation. But the Celtics, you know, Jason Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, they stacked. They say they young, they athletic. They're not barring anything. You know, they're gonna come in and they're gonna go at you uh, for the full game, and they're not gonna take their foot off the gas. So I got the Celtics coming out of that series.
Yeah, I got the Celtics too. I just don't think Embiid is going to be able to pretty much do it by himself. I mean, he got pieces around him, but it's a bunch of role players, and I mean, I don't know. I think they have a chance if Embiid plays in the paint and distributes the ball from the paint. If he goes to dominate the paint, distribute the ball from the paint, hit open shooters, they can knock down shots. I think they got a shot. But if he all out there hanging behind the 3-point line, trying to shoot threes and fall away jumpers, I think it's going to be a rout. So I got
Yeah,
well.
yeah, you know, it's man, it's gonna be tough, man. They just don't have enough. I'm looking at their roster right now. They just don't have enough to get it done right at this moment. Um, Especially with the floor general being out. You know, Ben Simmons, he creates a lot of easy shots for a lot of other people. Um, and you know, right now they got NATO and Burke, who gonna be assigned for those jobs to try to get it done, to try to get those guys easy shots. You know, so you know, I think they might have a better chance if Ben Simmons was playing by himself versus Embiid playing because you know, with a big man, you know, you gotta he can only dominate. He can only dominate when he's able to get the ball in his good spots and stuff like that. And if he's not able to do that, you're going to see him drift out to 3-point line and take those shots that you probably don't want him taking at this point, you know, because you want him to be a force in the paint. Uh, Next game we have is the Raptors and Nets. This is going to be a pretty good series. Raptors are going to win it. Championship pedigree. I know, you know, they don't have Kawhi Leonard. That guy that was there last year, the Claw.
Yeah.
Y'all want to call him that. But they got Kyle Lowry, man. They got Kyle Lowry, and he is the greatest Raptor of all time. Um, I mean, the guy just keeps getting it done. They got Siakam. They got a good team chemistry. They champions. They got a championship pedigree. The Nets, they just lost a lot. They don't have their full team. No KD, no Kyrie, no Taurean Prince, no DeAndre Jordan, no second round.
Yeah.
You know, as good as they've been in the bubble, no second round. You know, Garrett Temple's a very good player. LeVert's a very good player. Um, the big guy, the young kid, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He's from Austin, Texas. He's a really good player, but right now that just ain't enough to get it done against the Raptors, who just won a championship last year and who have been consistently in the hunt in the Eastern Conference playoffs. You know, all those years with when they had DeMar DeRozan, they basically got their nucleus is still kind of there. You know,
Yeah.
with Kyle Lowry and those guys.
I think the one thing about the Raptors people don't realize is they may have been in the finals, 2 years in a row if LeBron wasn't over there in the East.
Mm-hmm.
They could have made it to the championship 2 years, at least twice. I mean, they ran to LeBron and LeBron, shut it down. But they've always been a consistently good basketball team. Like Siakam's gotten better. and he's got into a star role. And then all those other guys they have around him. Lowry, what you said, is a dog. He plays hard. He knows the game. He's going to will his team to victory. I just think those guys are good. I think they're a really good basketball team. And I think if they make it to the finals, they're going to give somebody fits, no matter who it is coming out of the West. But again, I got the Raptors.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say the Raptors taking in 5.
Raptors in 5. Yeah, I think. But see, this is the thing. Brooklyn gonna be competitive. They're not gonna lay down.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they do got some really good young guys on their team. That's gonna come in. And they're gonna play. I mean, they got nothing to lose. Nobody expected them to be here.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, without KD and Kyrie and DeAndre, nobody expected them to be here. But they got a scrappy team, and they got really good guard play with Tyler Johnson, Joe Harris, and then the kid's name I can think of was Jared Allen, which he's gonna be a monster one day. But right now, without all those pieces, it's just gonna be hard to get it done. They went out and got Jay Crossover.
Yeah.
But that ain't gonna be enough. But he's somebody who could be a game changer. If need be when it comes down to it. So I think I got the Bucks over the Magic. I think the Magic win one game. Heat over Pacers. That might go to full length because this is going to be a very competitive series. Celtics over Sixers. I think the Sixers can win 2 games, and Raptors over Nets. That's how I got the first round of the East shaking out. What about you over in the West, Vic?
All right, so first game we got the Lakers and the Blazers. Blazers coming in hot. I mean, you already know the main characters on the Blazers side. Dame's going to do his thing. The guys that's going to have to really show up is Gary Trent Jr., who's been shooting that ball at a high clip from behind the three-point line. Gary Whiteside is going to have to clog the paint up to keep LeBron from being in the paint because they don't have anybody that can guard LeBron on the perimeter. So they're
Right.
Whiteside and Nurkic to stay in the paint and to clog the paint up. The issue with that is if one of them is in the center and they go to, and LeBron and them and the Lakers go to their small lineup and they put KD at the 5, he's going to pull that center outside of that paint. Or they going to give up open jump shots. And so I think that'll clear lane up for the Lakers. But again, you cannot overlook the fact that Avery Bradley did not come to the bubble, which is their main perimeter defensive player. And Rondo's back, but we don't know how long it's going to be for Rondo to get back in the game. I think that those young players on the Lakers are going to have to step up. I think that Kuz is going to have to be a big factor in these playoffs. I think that you're going to need Danny Green to hit a shot. Good Lord, he's like averaging 2 points a game, 3 points a game, or something crazy. I don't know if that's the actual stats, but I'll be watching the games, and bro don't be hitting no shots at all. Side corner pocket, he ain't hitting a lot of them. We need him to find a stroke in the playoffs. He is a champion, so hopefully he finds a stroke in the playoffs. They're going to have to give Philly Cheese. They're going to give Philly Cheese some burn. He need to come in there and do his thing and get in the paint. And Caruso's going to play defense. Everybody else going to have to continue to play their role and play hard and play, as a team, lobs, to the rim with Dwight and McGee. Caldwell Pope knocking down shots, playing defense. Like those guys got to up their game because the last couple games we've seen the Lakers play ain't really looked good for the offensive side. So they got to up it. But I think they can take the Blazers out for the simple fact, one, you don't have anybody that can truly guard Dwight, and you don't have anybody that can guard LeBron. They just got to make stops on Dame. And what's my guy? You can't guard me. The shooting guard over.
McCollum.
Yeah, McCollum. You know what they're going to do. They're going to score big buckets. They're going to score big shots. They're going to be running around the perimeter all day long, and they're going to have to get some stops. They're going to have to get some real stops. Avery Bradley is really going to be missed in this in this series right here. But I got the Lakers. I got the Lakers in 6, man. I think the Lakers are taking in 6.
Yeah. That's gonna be a hell of a series, and I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at right here, and you got on the Blazers side, man. I mean, Melo gonna have to step up. Nurkic's gonna have to have games like he had this last game against the Grizzlies. But the way the Lakers win this game is defense. We saying they don't have anybody that can stay with Dame and CJ, but they do have a bunch of people they can try. You can go as deep as putting JR out there. I mean, I know he's not known for his defense stopping, but the more wave of people you run it Dame and you run it CJ, that's gonna get tiring. It's gonna get old. Just like the Golden State Warriors was doing with LeBron. They was running all these different people. I mean, he still got 40. He said 40-point triple double, but at the same time, it can definitely be effective with Dame and CJ. But the Lakers, man, I feel like I know they're gonna win the series, and I'm glad they got the Blazers because I don't want nobody to say, oh, they got an easy route and all that good stuff. I think LeBron gonna have to he's gonna be triple dub LeBron.
Yeah.
And AD gonna have to be the AD he was against the Clippers. He gonna have to do that every night from now. Like it's just we can't have you going. He can't go back and forth. He got to do that every night. He got to do that every night.
You got to go hard or go home. That's what's gonna happen.
Absolutely, because that's who will go home if you don't go home.
All right, next up we got the Rockets and the Thunder. We got Westbrook out possibly 2 games. I think they said the August 20th with a quadricep injury. So I think that hampers it. You also got House Jr. He's a game time decision tonight with a toe, which I'm pretty sure he's going to end up playing. Man, you put a lot of weight. You put a lot of weight back onto Harden's legs and that jump shot and that step back and all the stuff that he does. You put a lot of weight on him to carry you through this series because the Thunder ain't the slouch. I think the Thunder beat the Rockets 2-1 in a series during the regular season. And with the Thunder, you got Dennis Schroeder. You got Gilchrist Alexander. And then you got Chris Paul. You go with those 3 guards up there. Steve Adams. I think Steven Adams is going to be big because they don't have a center. Like Houston don't have a center. I think in the playoffs it's going to show that you got to have somebody that can rebound the ball. I think he's going to be big down there rebounding the ball. I think that, man, this is going to be my one upset, man, which I don't really know if it's an upset, but, I mean, you got the Rockets at 4, the Thunder 5. I see the Rockets coming out of this one. Unless we get one of those series where Harden is just unconscious. Because, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, with the guys that got him around him, he can go unconscious, but you're going to have Gordon hitting a bunch of three-pointers. You have everybody else hitting three-pointers. Like, it's going to have to be – I mean, that's their thing. They can't go cold. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be the one thing that's with the Rockets' downfall in the playoffs is sometimes they go in there and they get cold and they can't hit those jumpers not falling. So you're going to have all of them hitting on all cylinders, especially when you ain't got Westbrook there to penetrate the paint and dish the ball out. So I'm definitely taking the Thunder on this one. Chris Paul done been on fire. I think he's going to lead these young kids past the Rockets, not to mention, he was in the Rockets and they traded him out. So I think he got something to prove. He's coming there with a chip on his shoulder, and he wants that victory. I think they're gonna pull that one out. I think that one gonna go, if not 7-6, it's gonna go 6 or 7. I think it's gonna go 6 or 7.
Yeah. If I was picking upset, I would pick OKC just because I think Chris Paul. I mean, he got a lot to prove, and he's been playing phenomenal. And he's showing you that he could lift the team. I mean, you look at under the roster. I mean, man, like I don't. it's not a lot there. Not a lot there outside Chris Paul and Steven Adams, and Gallinari is good though. He's solid. But I I think that I think the Rockets gonna pull it out because once they get to running up and down the court, whether Westbrook comes back in the second game, third game, whatever. Um, I just think they're gonna be too much for him because everybody on that team has been knocking down threes. But then you also got the playoff disappearances, you know, from a guy like James who can go cold at any moment, you know. But I think they're gonna make the Rockets are gonna make OKC play their game, and they're gonna make them take Steven Adams out of the game because he's gonna be guarding PJ Tucker. You know what I mean? Like, so that's gonna be, if PJ is knocking down threes and he's cutting and Adams is coming down getting twos, it's just kind of you can't keep doing it. You're going to have somebody that's going to be able to guard him. So I got the Rockets coming out of that series.
All right. Next one we got is Nuggets and Jazz. Tough break for the Jazz. Yeah, Mike Conley Jr. Well, I mean, he left the bubble due to the birth of his child, which is expected. You know what I mean? You're going to definitely leave the bubble to go see your child being born. But I think that's a tough hit on the Jazz. I think Mitchell is going to be all on his shoulders. And I think Clarkson is going to have to come off the bench, if not move him to a starting role. And he got to score in bunches, which we know he can do. He can score in bunches. I just think the Nuggets is going to be too much. Murray's looking good. You got the Joker out there. And that boy Michael Porter Jr., man, he is hooping. He hooping. And
Yeah.
coming off the bench, man, Bobo. I think Bobo's underrated. I'm telling y'all right now, Bobo's going to be a bad fucker out there in years to come. I've been telling John been laughing at me. But I'm telling you, man, I think that Bobo, he going to be something to see in this league, man. I mean, I ain't going to say he going to be no superstar, but he going to be one of them players that come in the game that you going to have the game plan for because he going to be dropping buckets. And then of course, Grant. I like Grant game. Like, come out the bench, rebounding. He can hit the open shot. I like Grant. I think that the Nuggets is definitely going to be too much for the Jazz. I'm going to say the Nuggets in 5.
Yeah. I mean, the Nuggets, with Paul Millsap coming back, you got the Joker. You got a lot of good young pieces there. I don't see the Jazz winning that. You got Torrey Craig who can help play defense on Spider Mitchell, and Mike losing Mike Conley is a big deal. It's huge, because he was brought there to put him over the top. He was brought to Utah to put him over the top, and right now you're not going to have him. I don't know how long he's going to be gone. If he's going to, you know what I mean, miss the whole first round or whatnot. And congratulations on his new son, son, daughter.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, well, congratulations on the birth of his child. That's something you can't fault the man for getting out the bubble to go see that. But I got the Nuggets, man. Just too much firepower.
Then we got Clippers and Mavericks. I mean, shit, what can you say about the Clippers? They're favored to win the championship. They got all the firepower. They got all the defense. Shit, they got bench. They got scoring. They got defense. They got the complete package. They got the coaching staff. Mavericks, Curry's gonna have to play unbelievable. He'll have to be behind that 3-point line, knocking down every shot he pull up. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s gonna have to play out of his mind. And this is gonna have to be every game. Like they're not gonna be able to have a down game. Like those are gonna be your two outliers, just Curry and Tim Hardaway Jr. They're gonna have to hit a bunch of shots and hope Paul George is off. Because Kawhi's not gonna be off. Kawhi's gonna get his points, his easy buckets. He's gonna get to his spots and get what he wants. You got to hope that Paul George is off, and Lou Williams is off, and they got a chance. I think if Porzingis can play out of his mind, I think if Luka Doncic can play out of his mind, they may can get this game. They may can get this series to 6. But honestly, I think it's going to be a sweep. I think it's going to be 4-0, if not a gentleman's sweep. 5-4-1. But I think it may be 4-0 or 5-1, however it is, 5-1, 4-1, whatever. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be much going on in the series. I think Luka's going to show out and he's going to look good in certain parts, but it's too much perimeter defense out there, and they're going to be knocking him around. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be a sweep or a gentleman's sweep on the Clippers winning.
Yeah, you really can't go against the Clippers in this situation. It's too much. But one thing concerns me with the Clippers is his health, overall health. Trez coming back. Let's see where he's at. Where's Pat Bev at? Where's Kawhi at? The other day he looked like he was limping around out there. I'm taking the Clippers, man. As bad as I think Luka gonna have some phenomenal games that can put them over the top, I really just don't think their defense. I mean, they're gonna bother him, but he's gonna do his thing. They're not gonna stop him from being Luka. But I just don't know who else coming with him. I don't know if Porzingis going. I don't know what Porzingis gonna do. Until he gets the consistent running mate with him, I think the Mavs are going to have a hard time. So that's something they're going to need to definitely address here pretty soon. But I do like the fact that Tim Hardaway Jr. Plays hard all the time. So he's not going to be shying away from any of this competition. The Clippers just got too much. They built for the playoffs. Like I said, I feel like they built for a deep run. The Mavs really don't have a chance. They may win 2 games. Yeah. Mavs may get 2 games out of that.
Yeah. Well, that's it, man. That's our playoff predictions. We'll come back after the first round, give our second round. I mean, we're gonna be chopping up in between about the different games and what's going on in the league, but we'll come back with our second round predictions once the second round, right before the second round starts. Yeah, man, I'm just excited for basketball, man. I tell you what, my playlist, what I'm jamming right now for this playoffs is that Karma 3 by Dave East. That's kind of what I'm jamming right now, so that's what I'm gonna be jamming during these playoffs. Steady just going over that album, listening to it. What you jamming right now for these playoffs? You got anything you banging for the playoffs?
I'm on that Karma 3, man. Dave East, he's one of the guys I follow real closely. I think the track is The City. He uses a same sample that Jay-Z used, and Ain't No Love. Yeah. Kind of the same concept, but man, he killed it, man. Like he just Dave East, man, he's definitely giving you a lot of versatility and with things he's talking about, and I ain't been able to move past. Like since it dropped, that's all I've been playing. In the house, in the car, in the gym. That's it. That's all I've been playing, man.
Yeah, that's the same thing. House, car, running, working out. Like that's what I'm listening to. I think Davies. I think it's very few artists like that transcends East Coast. So when you have an East Coast artist back in the Gap, it used to be like the beats that had real East Coast beats, and it wasn't necessarily something you would be in the club listening to, and it wasn't something down south you was listening to. It was just something you listen to if you was just trying to listen to straight lyrics. And now that wave has changed, and you got more East Coast artists getting on more down south beats or West Coast beats, or beats that ain't so much like when I say West Coast beats, I want you to East Coast beats, kind of think of the Wu-Tang, You know what I mean? Kind of think of what Griselda's doing with some of the tracks that they're using right now. Those are like those East Coast type beats. Well, now I think Dave East got to the point where he transcends all three coasts. Like he's on those hard tracks and those West Coast tracks, and it's just somebody you can listen to that hits hard on all three coasts. Not every artist does that. Some artists are just down south artists. If you ain't from the south, you ain't gonna listen to them. Some artists from the West Coast, if you're not from the West Coast, you're not gonna listen to them. Some artists from the East Coast, you're just not gonna listen to them. They're just gonna listen to them on the East Coast. But when you can transcend all three coasts and have an impact in what you're saying and what you're doing, I like his lyrics. I'm a big lyric guy as well, but I also like, some of that dumb shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm working out. But I think Dave East is at a point where he can reach being a superstar in the hip hop game. But yeah, like that's the album I'm definitely jamming on. I think my favorite song is Handsome right now. And it's just the production on it, honestly. I mean, he go hard on it with the tracks, but I think the production on it, on that song, like that beat is just one of my favorite beats right now. So that whole song with jamming. Actually, I've been listening to that before he dropped it on the Karma 3. He did a video to it. So that's kind of what I'm on right now, man. That's kind of what I'm be jamming and see in the next few days what's coming out. I think J. Cole dropped 2 tracks. Lion on Ice, which is one of my favorite ones. I don't know if it really got a lot of recognition. I don't know if a lot of people jammed it like that. But yeah. I think what he letting everybody know is like, I'm finna drop this album. This new album is gonna be fire. Which, I mean, that's kind of what you get from J. Cole regardless. But I really think it's time for J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar to drop something. I think it's been enough time for them to drop it. I know nobody want to drop because of COVID-19 and you can't tour and all that stuff. But I think it might be a good opportunity to drop something, feed the streets with something.
Yeah. The other thing I'm listening to is Dame dropped something from the bubble.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Dame dropped something from the bubble. So like a 4-track EP. Dame dropped it. I think it say live. I think it's live from the bubble. Let me look it up.
I might check that out. They ain't no packed up a whole studio a studio to do.
Hey man, you would be surprised what they got in the bubble. That boy PJ Tucker had like big screen TVs delivered to the bubble. Like they made their home, man. I mean, you got it. I mean, you're gonna be there for so long.
Yeah.
It's called Live from the Bubble. Yeah. He dropped it after the win. After the play-in win.
Okay.
And he got four tracks on there. All of them jamming.
I'm gonna check it out as soon as we get off of this. I just want to tip my hat to the NBA. I think the NBA has shown an example of how you maneuver during COVID-19. I think baseball is foolish. They canceling games seem like every other day because teams are getting sick with COVID-19. Football, NFL, I think they're gonna be foolish to try to start back. I seen a video the other day where they had like this walkway where players were walking through and they had disinfectant streaming down on the players. Someone was disinfecting the players as they was walking through. That does not make sense to me. So you don't have a face mask on. Your hands are free, so you're touching everybody. You sweating on everybody. You breathing on everybody. Like that disinfectant is not going inside your body and killing corona. And it might kill whatever's on the outside of your clothes. Then you got to ask yourself, what's in that disinfectant that you're putting on your body that's going into your skin? Like, how it's going to affect your immune system in your body? I just think if you don't put players in a bubble, then you're allowing everybody to go home like life is regular. So you're going to have players that's going to go home, go grocery shopping with the family. They family out doing stuff. They coming home. They around that person. You got players who still might be trying to go to the bars, clubs, strip clubs. They around different females, different men, whatever. They're just not in a confined space and nothing is controlled. They're living their everyday life. And then they're going back. And then you got 50, 60 players, all in this one facility. I think there's just a matter of time before COVID-19 hits these different football organizations and teams. And then you got college, which is the same. They're trying to start back. I think that's kind of weird because if you don't have kids, I mean, if you think about it, if you don't have kids on campus, the reason why you're not having kids on campus is for the safety of the kids. You don't want them to transmit COVID-19. However you want to look at it, they're not there for safety concerns. But yet you're going to say you have kids playing football. So to me, what you're saying is you're not worried about their safety. You can put all the stuff in place you want to. You also could do it with your kids that's just learning. You can put all that same stuff, distance learning, spread out the chairs, put all of the plastic up in between them, have them wear face masks. But for some reason, you're not doing that. You're going virtual for some schools because you're worried about the safety of it spreading. But yet, you still going to have these guys come out and play football, and they're still practice. They're still around each other. They're not social distancing. You know what I mean? So you either got to have it one way where you say, you know what, we're going to put everybody on campus and try our best to least the spread. Our hospitals are good. People get sick. They go to the hospital, quarantine, get taken care of. Or you're going to take the hands-off approach, and everybody need to be at home, social distancing, wearing masks, doing everything virtual. I think that what it's showing is that the college football is big money, and they're putting that big money over these kids. And these kids are going out playing, and they can get sick. Some may get sick. Some may not get sick. You know what I mean? It may not happen. But when you look at it from a standpoint of you don't have kids on campus for safety issues, but yet you're having kids come and practice and play football, and you don't put the same safety concerns on those kids. And you can dress up how you want to and say, oh, well, we're going to do this, and we're giving them shields, and we're giving them all this. They're still around each other. And I don't care how you do it. Kid, when you get in a group in a team atmosphere like that, you're not social distance. You talking to everybody. You dapping each other up. You hugging each other. You know what I'm saying? You're doing all kind of stuff to make it spread. And I just don't think that these sports are going to be able to flow as easy as the NBA because the NBA has those guys in the bubble, right?
Yeah. So a couple of things, man. The NBA has shown the world how it's supposed to be done. The reason I say that is because now internationally we have leagues internationally trying to figure out how to do a bubble. You know, there's only going to be a few leagues internationally that's going to be capable of doing the bubble, but they're looking at doing the bubble. Also, the NBA is also talking about doing bubbles around the U.S. next year for the whole season. College football, baseball and NFL. First of all, we knew they were gonna have problems because neither league has ever been a forward-thinking league because of the ownership in the league. You know, the type of owners they have. You know, you got the old money. Mm-hmm. You know, in the NBA, you got quite a bit of new money, quite a bit of tech people in the NBA too. But in the NFL, it's the good old boys club, just like baseball. It's good old boys club. We're gonna do it like we always did it. We're gonna put these people in the stands. We're gonna bring our players. You know, we're gonna do it like we always did. Nobody's gonna tell us how we should do this. We're not gonna look at anything else to help us out. This is just not gonna happen. College sports, the same way. And as far as college football goes, I think if they really broke it down, I think they could figure something out. I know you mentioned how like the players come in and then they go be with other people and all that. Well, if they're gonna do it, they got to figure out how to cut the other people, right? So they got to figure out how can we isolate them, and then we got to figure out, okay, we're gonna play these games, we got to travel, or can we create a bubble situation? You know, I know with the XFL, you know, The Rock and Danny Garcia just bought the XFL for $15 million a few days ago, and they're talking about having a bubble for the XFL down in Houston because originally they already did that because that's where the training camp was. that was training camp, but there's only 8 teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you're talking about college football. How can you do that? And I think if they, the ACC brought this guy in to evaluate the situation and give them the game plan and what needed to be in place uh, for them to do it. And maybe that's what they need. They need to bring in the NFL and baseball. They need to bring people in outside of their spectrum, because people inside of their spectrum got an old way of thinking.
Yeah.
And they can't, and they're not going to be able to progress in this time where we're probably not going to have regular things like fans. I know the other day we talked about how NFL stadiums, 90 to 100,000 people can fit in there. How do you break that up? Every 2 seats you got to buy seats in 2-seat increments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And between every 2 seats you have the plexiglass, but then you got to cross over to get your stuff, to get go get to the bathroom and all that. It's just a terrible thing. If they were smart though, like the NBA, because the NBA this time when it comes back around for this to renegotiate this TV deal, it's about to be crazy.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're gonna have. They're gonna have TV. If they're able to get it to where they can have fans, I'm sure they will, and they'll do it in the safest manner. But they're not going to push that like these other sports. Yeah. I seen something the other day. They talking about they trying to limit. They're going to start like trying. Again, I don't know how they're going to do it, checking people to make sure they're actually relatives or close acquaintance to people that's in the bubble, because they felt like people are just saying, "Oh, this my so and so. This is my cousin. This is my girl, or whatever." So they're trying to go back and see how these people are connected, because they're really strict on who they let in and out the bubble.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but yeah, it's money over everything.
Yeah.
Money when it comes to the especially college, NFL, it's money over everything.
Yeah.
And I think that when you put money first over human lives, man, nothing positive going to happen. Earlier you said something about the stuff that they spraying on you. Like what's all that?
Yeah.
Where the studies at on that? What you spraying first of all? Where the studies at? Where the scientific proof?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where the research at? First of all, they had like you say, man. The other day we was off camera and you was talking about how it's gonna come down to the players. And one thing I've always said about the NFL is that the players don't come together like that.
No,
because it's such a disparity from the top guys to the bottom guys, and even from the top guys to the mid-level guys. And obviously money is a big issue because everybody's trying to feed out family. Everybody wants the same thing in life. You want to be able to take care of your family. You want to make as much money as you can, and you want to try to live right by your people. But we all got different ways of going about that. And so if the top players saying, "Nah, man, we ain't playing," but the middle to the bottom half say we gotta play, and they all go to votes, then they're gonna play. Like it's just gonna be hard to get that many people in unity, because what you got, it's a 60-something man roster now, 65-man roster, because they expanded it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. And then there's so many coaches in the NFL on the team. So many coaches, so many trainers, it's just with that amount of players, it's going to be hard to figure out, or any football for that matter, to figure it out. But maybe, who knows? Maybe the XFL will show us how to do a bubble, but they're only going to have 8 teams.
Yeah.
And maybe the NFL needs to look at, okay, we got these conferences. Maybe we just play conference games. And whoever won the conference last year, so the NFC East, whoever won the NFC East for the East, that's where they bubble at. Whoever won the NFC Central, whatever. That's what we bubble at. Whoever won last year, that's what we bubble at. Whoever was the divisional champs, that's what we bubble at.
Yeah,
I think that could work. And then you figure out from there as it goes into the playoffs. Whoever had the better record, that's where you bubble at.
yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a way to do it, but you're not gonna get the money you made last year. You're not gonna get the fans. So you need to start thinking more innovative and make it more of an experience online for people.
Yeah.
Shit, I saw some stuff the other day. I think it was Scottie Pippen was doing the voice on a beer commercial, and where you can go online and you can click some and let the players know you're there. I guess you click it online and in the arena it makes noise or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's where we at. That's our norm, man.
Yeah.
So if the NFL and MLB doesn't and college sports don't want to get on with that, then it's going to be a problem. But the other problem I see with this too, when it comes down to college, is that, and I understand why they're trying to push it too outside of the money, but I know they're only looking at the money. The higher ups only looking at the money. But the kids, like right now, man, as an agent, I feel like we lost a whole year of everything when it comes to players getting signed. You know, whether it be NBA or not, I feel like we lost a year. Because right now the NBA not even talking about nothing outside of the playoffs, outside of the bubble. We don't even know, like there's players on the cusp of making the league. We don't know when they're going to have mini camps, if there's going to be mini camps, what's the protocol for mini camps. You know, with all that being said, if the bubble is over by December, that pushes us into January, February for training camps, mini camps, all that. How does that push the season? So you go, and we still got the NBA draft. But like with all college sports, you got these kids that's approaching their juniors and senior years, especially in football. The junior and senior years where they can possibly get ready to come out and get the draft and do all that stuff. It's gonna be difficult. College basketball, you can be one and done. You know, so now do you go straight to the G League? Do you try to go overseas? If they postpone college basketball,
Yeah.
you know, it's a lot on the table, man, and they gonna have to get some people outside of their or get the outside of their leagues, or get the most innovative thinkers in their leagues. You know, maybe representatives from each team or something to figure it out. I think it can be done, but you're just not gonna do it with fans. So if you stuck on the fan part, you might as well cancel it. You know, and that's just my opinion.
I mean, I think the only way it can be done if they're isolated. I'm not even looking at the fan part. I'm looking at it as the players, because if you don't have the players on the field, I mean, I guess in college, you know, there's players that you know, 5-star athletes that, you know, might be backups and can come in and play. But on the NFL level, if you get a major quarterback catch corona and he can't play, you know what I'm saying? You get a lineman, you know, catch corona, he can't play. A running back, well, your best wide receiver, hell, your head coach. You know, it's gonna be tough to go out there and compete like that. Especially,
Yeah.
you know, in the NFL. I think baseball is kind of showing you that, like having to cancel games and reset these games. You know, it's crazy. Like everybody's not gonna follow protocol unless they're in a bubble and they have to. So I just think that, from my take on it, unless they isolating these teams is going to be hard to do with 65 people plus staff, you know, for each NFL team. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a tough thing to do. But we'll see.
But you know one thing though, they could take them back. They could take it down to take a page from the NBA and go down to the wild world of sports. They got plenty of football fields there. We actually had a game there one time when I was playing. They got plenty of football fields there. And if they don't have enough fields, they can make some fields. Everybody's gonna play outside. You know?
They got to figure out something outside of the norm than what they're trying to do, because you can't just let people go home and live their everyday life and come to the facility. Like it's just not gonna happen. There's just too much shit spreading around.
Yeah, and I don't even know why they would think they could do that in the first place. Like we already know how that looks. Like so many people have caught COVID. A lot of people recover from it, but there's a lot of people who die from it too.
Yeah.
So why would you think for any moment you could have a player come into practice with 65 people plus staff, go home with his family? First of all, as a player, you putting your family at risk. You know what I mean? Ain't that much money in the world for you to go in here, but have a strong possibility of catching something, and then going home to your family.
Yeah.
And giving it to your kids, or your wife, or your grandma, your mama, or whoever you got living with you. Just ain't worth it, man.
Insane. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. We'll be back. I mean, we're gonna keep dropping podcasts. We'll be back, discuss the NBA playoffs. We'll be in and out discussing NBA playoffs, discussing what's going on in the wild world of sports. We're also gonna continue to bring y'all guests. We'll also continue to bring y'all social issues and things of that nature, things that's affecting the world today. So we're not gonna just shift all the way to sports, just shift all the way to social issues, and shift all the way to music. It's called Sports, Music, and Other Issues for a reason. We're gonna cover all three topics, everything. This is your one-stop shop. John, you got anything for we end?
Yeah, man. We appreciate all the support, man, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna keep bringing it to you. And merch coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Merch coming soon, man. So be on the lookout for the merch. We're gonna try to do something real cool with the merch once we get it flowing. So like I said, guys, keep supporting this, man. We appreciate everybody. Appreciate the love, all the feedback. Yeah, anything you can say, just good, bad, ugly, it don't matter. Comment, let us know, and appreciate you.
Again, kind of piggyback what John said, man. Make sure y'all follow Sports, Music, and Other Ish on Instagram, Twitter, or like our Facebook page. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the links will be below. Once again, we appreciate everybody. Appreciate everything y'all do. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We out.